All right, let's dive straight into this explainer and honestly, completely rethink everything you learned in high school gym class about stretching. We're going to unpack the actual evidence-based science of flexibility, dispel some incredibly common myths, and by the end of this, I'm going to give you a highly efficient 10-minute blueprint to keep your body moving freely. I want to kick things off with a question that's probably going to challenge what you've always believed. Does stretching structurally stretch your muscles out like a rubber band? Seriously, think about it for a second. When you reach down to touch your toes, are you physically lengthening the muscle fibers in your hamstrings? Just hold on to that thought, because the real answer completely changes how we should all be approaching our mobility. Section 1. Busting common stretching myths. Because, we really need to clear out the bad information before we can build a smart, effective routine. So here's a massive shocker for you. Doing deep static stretches on cold muscles right before a run, it actually decreases your power and performance. It's literally one of the biggest mistakes people make. You're essentially telling your muscles to just relax right when you need them to be strong and reactive. Oh, and that whole no pain, no gain idea? Completely wrong here. Pushing through sharp pain actually triggers a defensive reflex. It makes your muscles tighten up, not release. And look, while stretching is absolutely great for you, it doesn't magically prevent all injuries, like say a sprained ankle. Okay, so circling back to that rubber band question from earlier. The truth? You aren't actually lengthening your tissues at all. The University of Utah Health hits the nail on the head here. They point out that when you stretch, your stretch tolerance increases, but your muscle tissues are not lengthening. Basically, you're just changing how your brain perceives the stretch itself. Flexibility is really just a conversation with your nervous system, a process scientists call stretch tolerance. See, your body has these built-in alarms that go off the second a joint moves further than it's used to. Stretching is essentially just a way of calming those alarms down. You're desensitizing your nervous system to the discomfort, so it actually allows you to reach just a little bit further each time without fighting back. Moving into Section 2, the science of stretch tolerance. Because once you understand the underlying mechanics here, stretching stops being a boring chore and really becomes more of a biohack. Now, we can actually exploit our own neurology here using reflexes like autogenic inhibition to literally force a tense muscle to relax so we can achieve a deeper stretch. It works like this. Deep inside your tendons, you've got these tiny sensors called Golgi tendon organs. When they sense way too much tension, they act just like a circuit breaker. They send a signal straight to your spinal cord that forces the muscle to just let go. By holding a stretch gently and consistently, we're tapping into this exact reflex to safely unlock those super tight areas. And what's absolutely amazing is that stretching directly stimulates your vagus nerve, which shifts your entire body right into this restorative parasympathetic state. You've probably heard of this as rest and digest mode. So when you're doing slow, static stretching, you aren't just helping out your joints. You are actively lowering your blood pressure, dropping your heart rate, and reducing the stress hormone, cortisol. It acts like a massive release valve for both physical and mental tension. All right, Section 3, dynamic versus static stretching. Choosing the right tool is absolutely vital here because using the right tool at the wrong time can actually sabotage your fitness goals. Think of dynamic stretching as the accelerator to wake up your body, and static stretching as the brakes to help you recover. It's really that simple. Dynamic stretching uses active movement to increase blood flow and raise your muscle temperature right before an activity. On the flip side, static stretching is that classic stretch and hold method. That's designed to calm the system down and relax the body after the hard work is already done. So let's say you're prepping for a tennis match or heading out for a run. You want active movements, things like arm circles, torso twists, and walking lunges, to actually mimic the activity you're about to do. But if you're cooling down after that run, or even just winding down before bed, that's when you want to hold a seated forward fold or a crossbody shoulder stretch. When it comes to flexibility, timing really is everything. Which brings us to Section 4, beyond just flexible muscles. Because the perks of stretching go way, way beyond just being able to touch your toes. When we look at the systemic benefits here, it is just fascinating. Check this out. When you stretch a muscle, you're actually compressing and releasing blood vessels, which stimulates the production of nitric oxide. That opens up your arteries and improves blood flow throughout your whole body. Neurologically speaking, because it triggers that relaxed parasympathetic state we talked about, stretching before bed actually reduces something called sleep latency, which is just a fancy way of saying it helps you fall asleep faster. Metabolically, post-workout stretches actually increase glucose uptake in your skeletal muscles, and biomechanically, maintaining joint mobility is hands down one of the most effective ways to prevent life-altering falls as we age. This is incredibly relevant to all of us. Why? Because the NIH notes that 1 in 4 adults spend 70% of their day sitting down. Our bodies are adapting to being, quite literally, chair-shaped. When we sit all day long, our hamstrings and hip flexors become chronically tight. That tilts your pelvis and puts immense compressive force right on your lower back. Consistent stretching is pretty much our primary daily defense against this modern, completely sedentary lifestyle. All right, let's get practical in Section 5, your ultimate stretching blueprint. It's time to build your evidence-based, totally actionable routine for daily flexibility. So here is the absolute magic number. Clinical studies reveal you only need 10 minutes of stretching per muscle group per week to maximize your flexibility. No way, right? You don't need to spend an hour a day contorting yourself on a yoga mat. A major review in sports medicine actually found that beyond 10 minutes a week per muscle group, there are 0 significant additional benefits in your range of motion. Think about that. You can break that down into just over a single minute a day per muscle. To hit those 10 minutes effortlessly, just follow these simple golden rules. First, hold your stretches for 10 to 30 seconds. Now, if you're over 65, your connective tissue responds just a bit slower, so you'll want to aim for 60-second holds. Second, never push into sharp pain. You want a discomfort level of about 5 out of 10. It should feel like a nice, gentle pull, nothing more. Third, never bounce. That's called ballistic stretching, and it's a great way to cause tears. And finally, most importantly, just be consistent. This all comes together in what we like to call the workout sandwich. Step 1 is always your dynamic warm-up. We're talking leg swings and arm circles to act as your accelerator. Step 2 is your main activity, whether that's lifting heavy weights, running, or honestly, even just gardening out back. And then Step 3 is your static cool-down. This is where you use the breaks to hold stretches, calm that nervous system down, and secure those flexibility gains while your muscles are still warm. I want to leave you with this final, kind of provocative thought. Your body is constantly adapting to whatever you do most often. If you're spending 70% of your day sitting, you are literally training your body to be stiff. So ask yourself, can you spare just 10 minutes a week to ensure you can move freely, sleep better, and stay independent for the rest of your life? I'm guessing the answer is yes.